Hey guys, I'm Rhonda, and you are watching Crafty Hangouts. This month, our sponsor at Crafty Hangouts is Consumer Crafts, and our theme is crafts under $10. So we are doing today a jewelry craft under $10. Now you'll notice it looks like I'm wearing three necklaces. I'm actually wearing one necklace. It's a multi-strand necklace, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make one of these. For supplies, you're going to need just a few basic things. I used for the ends, you can see these, there's the little lobster claw on the one end for closing it, and then it's got like three little loops where you can attach the strands. That's where we're going to attach each of the individual strands of beads. And you'll need some sort of beads. I like using some sort of connector beads because they are made to attach end to end without having to actually string them. I used a package of these pretty crystal beads. And here, if you look at one that's out of the package, you can see that it has like a little wire loop on each end of it. So we are going to connect them directly to each other with those little wire loops. And these are it's like $2.77, I think, for a package of these, $1.27 for these guys. And then for $1.97, I got these chainmail rings. They're actually pairs of rings that are twisted around each other. If you look at them individually here, you can see each one of these is actually two pieces of wire in a twist. So I really thought these were cool. They add like a little extra something funky kind of texture-wise to my necklace. So I got those. And if you get one package of these, one package of these, and the ends, that'll be enough to give you the necklace I'm going to demonstrate. It's a little different than the necklace I'm wearing, but it's pretty much the same idea. Now, the main thing is, it's going to take the most of your time on this project, is connecting the pieces together. So you're going to want at least one pair of these jewelry pliers. I like to use two pairs. There are some certain things that I just find it easier to use two pairs with. So we're going to start out with these little guys that have the little loops on each end. You're going to take your pliers and twist open one of the end loops, like so. See if you can, oops. So you can see that here. I've got that open. And then we're just going to take another one here and slide those two together. And then I'm just going to use my pliers and just use a twisting motion to close that back up. Make sure I get it all the way closed so that it won't, they won't slip apart. You know, sometimes if things aren't quite all the way closed, if you lay them down and pick them back up, things like slip through each other, and all of a sudden you set it down and you picked it back up and it was in pieces. We don't want that. So, and you're just going to keep on going in that fashion until you have a whole string of these pretty little beads all together, just like so. So there's how we're going to start that. We're going to do three strands. So we're going to do one strand of those. And then we're going to do two strands of these guys. Now there's several different color combinations in here. You can see there's like one that's got like a coppery and a silver. There's a silver and black ones. We've got some just silver, some just black. So there's quite a variety in here. And we're going to do those in a pattern. You can see I've already got a string of these together and a strand of these done on the links. You can see on this particular strand I did solid black alternating with some of the twisty ones. I did an assortment of twists with silver and gold and silver and copper. So the copper and the gold are very similar. So that is what we're going to do. You can do any pattern that you want. For my other strand, I'm doing ones that are solid silver with the black and silver twist. And now, this is really, really super easy. It might be a little intimidating at first because they are sort of These are a little trickier than regular jump rings. They don't like to line up quite as easily. So this is where I like to use my 2 pairs of pliers, because these are, with the double wire, a little stiff. You can get them with your fingers, but after you get through like a half a dozen of them, your fingertips will start to hurt and you'll wish you had pliers. So we're going to open that one up, and we're going to just slide it through the last loop. And then we're going to take these 2 pairs of pliers again, and we're going to close that loop up and make sure we line up the ends so that they are flush with each other. So there should be as little gap as possible left at the end. And you're just going to repeat that. So this is a good one to do while you're like watching a movie or something, because it's sort of tedious and time consuming, but it's totally worth it in the end. Now when you make your 3 strands, you can see I've got 2 of them here. This first strand is going to be the inside strand, the top strand. This is going to be the middle strand right here, and then this one, when I finish it, is going to be the bottom strand. Now, in order to get them to lay in 3 different layers, each one is going to have to be longer than the last. So you can see this inside chain is a little shorter than this one, and then when I finish up the other chain, that one will hang down just a little bit farther. Yeah, so we'll have like another 1.5 inches or so that when we connect the other ends, it'll come together nice and layered. If you do them all the same length, you don't get the layered effect. And now one thing, this is one place where you can vary it up largely, because you can do a really big difference in between them. Like say, if you were to do this one like a few inches shorter, you'd get something more like this between your layers. So the more difference you make in between them, the bigger the gap is going to be in between them when you put it on. So if you want something that's like go really long with like, big spaces in between them, just make a bigger difference in between the length of each individual strand, and that will translate to bigger spaces when you wear the necklace. Now the last thing is when you put this together on the ends, see these big fat rings are too big to go through our little holes on the ends here. You can see that's just not going to work. So we need jump rings. So I've got, actually, I like to use split rings. They're very similar to a jump ring, except they're like a little tiny like keychain ring where they, if you can see where it's sort of twisted, it looks like a little mini tiny keychain. The reason that I prefer these, they're a little bit more difficult to put together when you're initially doing it, but if you pull on it, they won't pull apart like jump rings will. So these add a little extra durability, which is why I prefer to use them in my pieces. Again, just a personal preference. Either jump rings or split rings will work. And the way I attach with the jump ring, obviously you would just open it up with your pliers and stick it on and you're good to go. Very similar to what we did with those chainmail rings. When I use the split rings, what I like to do, see if I can get this to where you can see it, is I just trim my fingernails too, so it's a little harder. Kind of slide my fingernail in between the layers of the split ring. I don't know if you can see that. Just kind of separate them a little bit and use that gap to kind of feed it into the hoop that I'm putting it on, which in this case is the little loop on the triple end of the necklace here. And then I just twist it on here, sort of like putting a key on a keychain. And there we go. So I just need to make this strand down to about here, and that'll be good to go. And when you're done, it looks very much like this. Now this one, if you wanted to get a little fancier, I've added in these other little connectors. You can see I've got black and white and pink, and those, again, being connectors, have the little attachment hoops on each end. These ones don't open up like the other ones do on the little sparkly beads, so I actually in order to attach those, there's these. Yeah, so you just open up one of the little rings on here and just slide the little connector onto it, this little bead, and then close it right back up. Easy peasy. Like I said, just a little time consuming because it's a lot of putting small parts together. Totally worth it in the end because I really like this necklace. I really love this method because it's a great way to combine materials that might not necessarily go together otherwise. I like to kind of, push the envelope and combine things that I might not necessarily have just organically combined. I'll sometimes even just kind of blindly like reach up and grab things and see if I can make them work. So this is a really great way, especially if you have oddball random stuff that you want to use up. The multi-strand necklace is a great way to make things that don't look like they go together actually work together. So I hope you like my multi-strand necklace. It's really, really super easy. Just mainly a matter of having the right hardware. So these little guys make all the difference in the world. If you have any questions about this project, feel free to leave me a comment. Make sure you stop by craftyhangouts.com. There's a whole bunch of other crafters who are also doing under $10 crafts this week, so you want to see what they're up to. Make sure you subscribe to my channel while you're here, so I've got lots more great stuff coming up for you guys. Visit my blog, Mrs. Green, and we will see you later. Thanks for stopping by.